Hey guys, I just put this little extract in the start of the film. A, to test if my um, film editing software is working, and B, to tell you the reason I haven't recorded in about a week now is because it's winter here and I came down with a cold. So I was deciding not to record while I was sick. But I'm better now, so you can expect some more videos from me. Anyway, bye bye. Hey guys, Dylan from Geek Duo here, and today I'll be bringing you episode 1 of Fandom News. Now, this will be a new segment I do once a week, maybe once bi-weekly, depending on if I can think of anything. But in this I will be talking about a specific event from a fandom I'm in, whether it be RWBY, Marvel, Doctor Who, Supernatural, any of those. So in today's episode I'll be talking about the Haven fight, more accurately Crow's participation in it. Now, I've heard a lot of people complaining that Crow was all the big characters from the good team were jobbing, I believe that's the correct term, whereas they weren't fighting to their full extent for people believing to pan out the fight. Well, the way I see it is, for the first half of the fight, Oscar's controlling the body, not Ozpin's. So, yeah, he's not got Ozpin's muscle memory fully. He got, if I remember, I think I heard something about he's about a third year signal student. So, he's about where RWBY was when she started. Now, yes, that is good but going up against people who have had years of training, it's not the best. And after that, he'd already been hit by a few heavy hits before Ozpin decided to take over. And then he has to single-handedly fight off Ozpin and not Ozpin, Lionheart and Hazel. I say single-handedly because to begin with, Crow's knocked because of the hit from Hazel sent him flying and she was a skeleton. Yeah. But him single-handedly going up against two, yeah, it's been done in the show, more effective than that, but he was still weak from damage. And then we'll get to Crow. Now, yes, Crow is by far the most skilled on the hero's team, but his semblance comes into play. Now, I know what you're thinking, but Dylan, no one got affected by bad luck in that. And Crow can semi-control his semblance. Exactly. His semblance, like the opposite of others, always active, and he has to focus on lessening it. All the others focus on amplifying it to use it. He has to concentrate on lessening it so he doesn't affect the people around him. The only times we ever see his semblance activate is in the crowbar when he's drunk, of the drunkest we've ever seen him. In the fight with Tyrion, because he's so focused on the fight, he's so in there that he's trying to have his bad luck so Tyrion will stuff up. but he doesn't control it in time to stop the beam almost falling on Ruby. And we also see it in the log rolling out of the fire. Now, he's poisoned, he's tired as all hell, and because he's done more teaching in that than he'd done for years, and teaching is tiring. And also he wasn't thinking, because he'd just seen Raven, wasn't really thinking about his semblance. He was thinking of Oz and the people he'd lost, as well as his sister and all the maidens and all that. He wasn't focusing entirely on his semblance, and it activated with the log falling out. Now come to a fight where he's the only adult protector of a group of teenagers. Yes, they're trained fighters, but so are the people they're going up against. He doesn't focus entirely on the fight because he's partially concentrating on stopping his semblance from activating. So if he didn't have to do that, he would have been fighting full concentration. He would have probably beaten them easily. But because he had to concentrate on his semblance, he could only half concentrate on the fight, which means he'd get hit by things he normally wouldn't have to deal with. Plus, he has to protect Oscar, because they can't have Oz dying on them again, because who knows how long that would take. Plus, they'd already done the Oz dying, but he has to get Oscar out of the way of Hazel's punches, which gets him hit a couple times by a lightning dust powered maniac. Along with what I'm assuming, he gets beaten by his sister. Well, a few hits from his sister, because once again, can't concentrate fully, because then the people he's caring for might get hurt. And yes, there's always a chance that it could have affected the other people, but he can't control, so he didn't want to run the risk. And, well, yeah. Basically, there was jobbing because, well, there wasn't really jobbing by team Ranger or Yang and Weiss. Well, Weiss did make a couple mistakes, but she used improper form for that, so I think that's fair enough. Yang was being tag teamed by Mercury and Emerald. Ruby got knocked out because she was concentrating on protecting John, using her silver eyes and everything. She didn't consciously have her aura up. And, well, yeah. If anyone was making stupid decisions, it was Cinder. Because really, she could have just taken that flaming spear, just stabbed it straight through Ruby, because she was lying unconscious. And then, that's her vendetta done. Then she could have just bloody thrown a fireball at Weiss, or just done that from the beginning. Because Ruby couldn't keep her aura up, and Weiss had no aura left. Both of them could have been easy kills if Cinder hadn't been doing proper. And yeah. So you see, Crow was intentionally jobbing. Oz had to keep Oscar safe, and so he couldn't go in for attacks he normally would because he can't damage his host bottom. And also, for half the fight, Oscar was in control, and he got hit a few times. And then, so the only people you should really be angry at for jobbing are Cinder's faction. Because Adam could have said some white fangs in to help Hazel when he got impaled. But he didn't. He could have let Hazel help with the menagerie fight, but he didn't. A lot of dumb decisions made by some supposedly smart people, but anyway, that's my opinion as to why the characters did what they did during the Haven fight. Leave a comment in below if you agree with my reasoning, and if not, tell me why. And yes, I know it was all only done to lengthen the fight out for the show, but still, this is me trying to reason why it was done. Anyway, this has been Fandom News. We'll see you next time.